Welcome to Ruby's Roundtable.
Thank you.
So, first of all, this is Mr. Arvon Nichols, and he is the music teacher at J.W. Greer. Yes. And also has been helping me with my rehearsals, watching my performances, and teaching me the history behind some songs that I am currently learning with my vocal coach, and just all the things. So thank you for just being supportive.
Thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
I feel like you're so nervous. Relax your shoulders. It's okay.
I'm fine.
You fine?
Yeah.
The pink looks great, by the way.
Thank you. I'm cool.
Okay, so, oh my gosh, we literally just came off the weekend and had the 5-minute performance with Arts and Science Council of Charlotte at the Mint Museum Randolph. And I feel like it went by so fast. We've had so many rehearsals.
Yeah, it's usually probably about a 10-to-1, 20-to-1 ratio of rehearsal to performance.
Right.
So it did go by quickly.
But I'm so glad. First of all, JW is letting me use the stage to rehearse.
Thank you, Miss Wilson.
Thank you, Miss Wilson. Thank you to the principal of J.W. Greer. Because I think I can rehearse at home, but having just like a space where it's like, okay, you're putting yourself on a stage or in an atmosphere where it appears to be people around or just that space, it helps me. But what is the feedback from the performance, from your eyes, just because you were in the position of watching me rehearse, like, I think, was it 3-4 times?
Yes. I think it was 4.
4 times before? Up into like the performance, like sitting in the audience, like what was your takeaway?
Being an educator and a performer, I know I don't listen to a performance like a regular spectator.
Right.
I'm dissecting it and listening for certain things. And
right.
So overall, it was a great performance. I loved it. I loved the crowd interaction that you had.
Yes.
There were some technical difficulties with sound.
Right.
We talked about that after the show.
Right.
But I like the energy that you brought out. Like I said, the crowd interaction, having them clap, and they really enjoyed the show.
Yeah. I think, first of all, it was so dope, just the event itself. So it was the Midnight Marathon, and Dawn Anthony, my vocal coach, put me on this with the Arts and Science Council. And I went on in the 7 to 8 block, but there were like 50 artists overall who went from 4 to midnight.
Yeah.
And these artists were like poetry, open mic. What were you singing before I came on? Like, what were you singing?
Before your portion, there was a poet, an author. She read a chapter from her book.
Okay.
There was an instrumentalist. He played trumpet, but he played his intro and outro on the trumpet, but in the middle, it was a poetry reading.
Interesting.
There was an R&B singer, 2 R&B singers, and one of them had 2 backup dancers. And so it was a lot of variety in the arts.
Right.
This poetry, storytelling. There was a storyteller, singing, instrumentalist, and you.
Okay, so this is the outfit. I just kept it kind of black. I wanted like a pop, so I did like a crystal look. I have on my gloves, my other one is in there. And I just did a bun with my swoop because it was raining, so I couldn't do a bust down, but it's okay next time. But yeah, this is it. I'm probably gonna take this jacket off, but get into it. Ow. I'm extracurricular.
Taking friends like trains.
I'm gonna be in the middle.
Okay.
With the
I'll probably just go down right.
But then I'm gonna stay on the microphone first. And then I'm gonna take the microphone off, and I'm gonna be engaging the crowd.
Okay.
Just so you know, like, okay. We're not nervous. We're excited. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 people in front of me right now. So we are in the green room right before the performance, and I'm about to give me something to eat. This ghetto. This ain't ghetto. It was right here for a reason, right?
How's the food?
I'm kind of busting it down for real. Interesting because this is actually my first 5-minute performance. Like I had to get a show mix for this, like get songs like nudged together to create a 5-minute show mix, and I had to provide a visual. So this is a good challenge, good put on from my vocal coach because I haven't done that before. And so it just kind of elevated my, I guess, creative side, because now I'm just like, ooh, like I want to create more visuals. Like how can I get better from the visual that I created this time? And then also the show mix, like how will my show mixes elevate like as I create new songs? So this was a good move. This is a good move. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was a good move. At first I was like, what is this? But then like once I start putting everything together, I'm like, okay. You know, brick by brick, slowly but surely, just adding on to our experience and the things that we can do creatively. So not now win. It's not now win. I got some in my teeth. Thank you so much for being here at the Mint Randolph, supporting artists like myself. My name is Ruby Durham, and let's get into it. So this next single is unreleased, but it's called Small Town Girl, and it is a song about me. So I hope you love it. Let me know what you think. My mama raised me to be determined to walk in every room and own it, to be a star and set the bar for myself despite who else. This advice ain't for the weak, to be confident when you ain't had too much to read, when sometimes you didn't have nowhere to sleep. This is for the small town girl from the country, who knew she'd be something, cause she knew how to turn something out of nothing. She grew up in the projects, in and out of hotels often. But when you see her, she a motherfucking star. Ain't no motherfucking scars. Woo! Oh yeah. Clap your hands. 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 Yes. Here we go. It's your time. Get on your grind. Make it happen with all your passion. Go hit the streets. Slow feet on it. It's your time. Get on your grind. Make it happen with all your passion. Go hit the streets. Slow feet on it. Be unstoppable. If not you, then who? If not you, then who? If not you, who? If not you, who? If not you, who? If not you, who? If not you. Thank you so much for this. If not me, who? If not now, when? Okay.
Whether you want to buy a home or sell one, you need the right person to make that dream come true. Someone who knows the market, has the right relationships to support you, and keeps his finger on the pulse of the community. So what are you waiting for? Do what I did and contact Vaughn Hayes today, because you are the key to making it all happen, and that house is waiting for you to call it home.
As someone who is also not only an educator, but a performer, because you play trumpet.
Yes.
Do you feel like the music scene or the artist scene is growing, or do you feel like there could be more improvement just based on you going to that performance and seeing like there's so many artists in Charlotte?
Charlotte is an art city.
Okay.
I've been here since 1998, and it has grown a lot. There's always room for improvement, but we do have organizations like the Arts and Science Council and Jazz Art Charlotte. There are other nonprofits that focus on developing artists and providing opportunities to perform here in Charlotte. So, and like I said, Charlotte is very good about promoting the arts and keeping arts in schools,
Right.
et cetera, and stuff like that. So,
Right.
we're a lot better than most cities.
I think like nowadays it's kind of just like what can I say? What other avenues can be produced to just put out more artists? Because with that performance, like 50 artists in one event, like that's a lot. So like what else can be done to showcase many artists? And then where do you go from there?
Well, dealing with the Arts and Science Council in schools, one thing that I would probably recommend is like the event that you were at Friday, that you performed. If getting people in the industry to come and be a part of the audience to see like a showcase like that, like producers and
That makes
record
sense.
labels and things like that to come just watch and be a part of the audience, and maybe that could
Right.
get things rolling.
Right. We have a visitor. Hi. She's like, what's going on? Come get your interview. Don't leave us. Right. So I definitely agree, like having like the bigger names that are in North Carolina or just anywhere come to the events to kind of see like what's happening.
Anywhere, why stop to just local, just anywhere.
Right. No, that makes sense.
But there's nothing wrong with asking, putting the invite out there, and if their schedule's open,
Yeah.
they could have came Friday night. And
Right.
saw 50 artists. And
Right.
probably take someone to the next level.
Interesting. I think the performance was, I thought it was a good stepping stone. I definitely thought it was a good stepping stone because I had to put together a 5-minute show mix. I've never done that before. So merge my songs or just any covers together in a mix for the show, and then also the visual. So I thought the multimedia aspect, like you spoke on, like that was definitely dope. But it's just putting myself in like different locations. So done club, done the basketball halftime, and now this was like in a theater setting, just more intimate. So it's kind of like, I don't know if I should say I make music to match any setting, but then also like when I'm going to different settings, like making sure it matches. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you want to be versatile.
Correct. Okay, that's a better word.
Have a tool belt of different types of songs to meet different types of audiences.
Right. Because that was definitely a different audience, but not in a bad way. Like it was great.
They were very receptive.
It was very great, but just thinking moving forward, like always having something in my catalog that can fit any experience, genre, crowd, and move them. So, the crowd interaction was like great, but I also feel like if you're going to something like that, then you already know the artist is going to need that.
Yes.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do.
What's something you would change, or not change, but from our rehearsal, what is something that you feel like stood out or that could be worked on?
Honestly, nothing. Because,
Really?
Because you're putting in the work. That's the most important thing. I'm glad that I could offer that. The school could offer the space to you. Save some money, so you don't have to worry about rehearsal space.
Correct.
And you're putting in the reps, so you'll eventually have the breakthrough that you're looking for.
Yeah.
If you just put the work in and don't stop, just don't quit.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you to work less.
Yeah.
I would never tell you to do that.
I know just one thing we were talking about in the rehearsals was sustaining the notes, especially on If Not You Who. So I think maybe, I don't want to say I'm my own worst critic, like I'm always trying to get better, but I just think of, like when I look at the playback, sometimes I feel like I catch myself talking or not singing a note, like some of the notes feel like is like I could have sang it better versus I don't know how it was projected, but I don't know. I think I'm my own worst critic.
Well, that's a good thing to be and a bad thing to be at the same time, because I've heard great singing from you. Could there things that could be better? Yes.
Yeah.
Like everything. But whatever you express in that moment is what the art is about. I mean, if one time you sing it, that's what came out of you at that moment. And the next time you speak it, that's what came out of you at that moment.
Right.
So you're being capable of doing both and still making it sound good is probably the best thing.
Yeah. True.
To come out of all of this.
Yeah, I agree. As someone who has performed with the band, what do I need to do to assemble that?
Network.
Okay.
You already have one connection, your vocal coach, Dawn Anthony. She, even though she's more jazz oriented, using her as a conduit to get to other musicians.
Okay.
Would probably be a good start. Work with people who you know already.
Right. And like have like a vibe with.
Yeah.
I agree. I think too, like, how do you not only network, but make sure y'all mesh? Like, are you having rehearsals for a rehearsal or a rehearsal for a, you know what I'm saying? Like a, how do I say it? Like, if you know 3 drummers, are you having a rehearsal with them to see which drummer is best, or are you just kind of like going with one? Follow me?
Try them all.
How do you, but they gonna want to get paid
True.
for their time.
True.
You know,
You try them all, and then you select from there. Or a lot of it is word of mouth. Like I said, if you do have this conversation with Dawn, she would introduce you to a drummer that who she's familiar with and who she's had good relationships with.
Right.
Since you know Dawn and you have a good relationship with her, you're probably more inclined to go with that drummer.
Interesting.
Like I said, network.
Yeah.
It's about networking. Who you know and who they know.
Who they probably previously worked with, and they're like, okay, I think this would be a good person. I think it could work. I think I know a lot of people at this point is just like getting them all together and then also not breaking the bank, but also providing quality for everybody. What are the do's and don'ts of like not only assembling a band, but also like being within the band?
Well, when I played, one of the rules that was taught to me, there were actually a couple of rules. 1, know your music.
Correct.
2, be on time.
Correct.
Or better yet, be early, because you got to warm up and prepare and stuff like that.
Get comfortable, get settled in, relax your shoulders.
Practice, drill, and rehearse. A band director I used to work with, we would always tell the students is that rehearsal is for rehearing what you practiced. So
Okay.
You should already, when you come to rehearsal, you should already be prepared to play what you practice. You shouldn't be practicing at rehearsal.
Correct. I agree. Because then that's going to take up time,
And money.
especially in money. Because, you know, if I'm the person assembling it, then I will be the one who would be investing in these people. So we will already need to make sure that we are set up for success, like individually. But my question is, okay, so let's say I am networking with people. Obviously, they don't know my music yet. How do you send them? I guess you would just send the music to them beforehand and
Yes,
say
send
like,
them
hey, this is
charts.
what we're going to be.
Well, in my case, it would be a chart. I would get charts from the director of the band, and I would practice it at home. We have rehearsal on Monday, and
What's the chart?
the music.
Oh, so you just don't send the song. You actually send the.
Yes. The
Oh,
music,
wow.
actual
So
music.
if you don't have that, like, let's say if I'm someone who does not have a chart, but I want a trumpet player, like, how would I get that?
In your case, it would probably be from the recording. The trumpet player, if it was me, I would listen to the recording and transcribe it myself, which would probably cost you a little bit more money to do
Really?
that.
Oh, well, how do I transcribe it to give it to you so, you know, I can just.
or learn it by ear, but I will
Oh,
probably
wow.
transcribe it as I'm learning it by ear. So since I'm on the time crunch.
Right.
They learn the form of the song,
Yeah.
chord progressions, where to hit, where to sit back, stuff like that. If I'm playing the melody, yes.
I'm gonna need to look up. There has to be, you know how like AI is right now. There has to be some sort of technology.
There are a lot of programs that can do that for you.
Oh, I just got nervous. I'm like, well, how am I figuring that out?
But that's if you just want a live instrumental band. For your music, that tends to follow the typical R&B structure. Most keyboard players and drummers can pick that up just from listening to the recording.
Right. That's what I'm like. But what is like, you know how we have the do's and don'ts? Like, is there a preferred way or a professional way, or is it just kind of communicating like, hey, this is what I have, etc.?
Probably providing as much as you can to the musician would help.
Okay.
They would make up the rest if they're a quality musician.
Right.
Like I said, just listening, most keyboard players who are keyboard players, most guitarists who are guitarists, and most drummers who are drummers,
Yeah.
they can listen to it and pick it up.
Okay.
Kind of like you do in church, like they do in church.
Right.
But after that, after listening to your master and
Right.
picking it up, that you would have to rehearse with
Right.
them.
Right.
And work on the actual form of the song if you want to make any alterations or things like that.
Yeah. I have been sitting on like pulling a band together or just like key pieces to practice with and to create content out of. And I'm not sure why. I just feel like, it just seems like a lot to do, a lot of communication, especially depending on how many pieces I have. And it's just like, whoo, like I do believe I can do it. It's just I've been putting it off for sure.
Yeah, go for it.
I know.
Set up a schedule. And
where we gonna practice it? You know, it's so much that goes in. It's so much that goes into it. Ooh, can I bring them to the school?
yeah.
That would be very loud.
Yes.
That would be louder than just what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. But since you have a relationship with the school already,
Yeah.
my school, it probably wouldn't be too difficult. I mean, all she could say is no,
Right.
but I'm quite sure she wouldn't.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pray about that one. I'm gonna pray about that one. I think moving forward, like what Dawn and I are working on right now is learning the Black National Anthem.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the Black National Anthem is harder than the regular national anthem. Or do you say regular national anthem? Is that the correct terms?
There's a Black National Anthem, and then there's the National Anthem. That's how I
Period.
distinguished the two.
Okay.
One was voted on by Congress, and one was adopted by the NAACP.
Okay. Which one do you feel like is easier?
Neither.
I think the national anthem is easier than the Black National Anthem. Let's argue. Why do you feel like neither?
They both have their difficulties. I think what we were talking about last week is the Star Spangled Banner, our national anthem. The range from the lowest note to the highest note goes beyond the average vocalist.
Yeah.
Everyone can't sing it.
Yeah.
Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Black National Anthem, when it's in an odd time, it's in 6/8. And there's a lot of, the melody
Yeah.
can throw you off with tuning because there's a lot of half steps.
Yes. It's so annoying.
And, yeah. Along with the lyrics.
Along with the lyrics.
So I think they're both difficult. I would say, if anything, 60-40 Star Spangled Banner.
Really? Maybe because I'm learning the Black National Anthem.
And
That's why I feel like
going
it's
through that process. See, most of us have been singing the Star Spangled Banner or heard it since we were kids. So
Right.
just that repetition makes it seem like it's easier.
right.
But you've seen performances where, no, you should have practiced a little bit more.
One thing I just don't want to be in a position where like I get called to do either or and I'm not prepared. And so I did not learn the Black National Anthem in chorus. Like when I was in chorus in school, I just learned the national anthem and America
The
the Beautiful. So now in chorus, like you being a music teacher, are you all teaching everything to the students or
Yes.
Wow.
I cover the Lift Their Voice and Sing, typically around Black History Month.
Okay.
And I have a unit for patriotic music, which includes the Star Spangled Banner, My Country 'Tis of Thee, America the Beautiful,
Okay.
etc.
Interesting. I miss chorus. Chorus was my favorite. Chorus was my favorite class. I was trying to think. Yeah, chorus and PE. Chorus was my favorite class.
Good to know.
It really was. But the kids learning the Black National Anthem, all the stanzas, the stanzas.
No. The first two.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
I'm learning the third and fourth one right now, and I'm like, ooh. It's like, do you feel like learning the history helps knowing the song?
Yes, but since I teach elementary, try not to go too deep into it. Actually, the program that I use with the music curriculum program that I use, it does ask thoughtful questions about the lyrics,
okay,
and what this section means and what happened during this time, and have the students try to draw from that. But
do they understand?
Somewhat.
Okay.
Somewhat. The older grades do. Older grades,
Right.
like third, fourth, and fifth, they tend to understand it more.
Right.
K1 and 2, we just work on just the lyrics in the song.
Right.
More so than the actual why the song was written.
Wow.
Or the poem was written. It actually started out as a poem in 1900. So
I think moving forward, like, it doesn't matter if it's the Black National Anthem. I do feel like kids who want to take up singing, or who feel like the music class, just like how I said, or chorus class is like a favorite of theirs, like they should definitely know, because Dawn is teaching me the history, or like not forcing, but just making it a point that I learn the history, so then I understand the words. And before, I would be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I feel like maybe if I was younger, I wouldn't want to do it. But now it's just like, it makes so much sense to kind of grasp what you're singing, so you can, I don't know if I want to say feel it, but channel it.
the way I see it, especially with these two songs in particular, that they both tell a different side of history from a certain time period and a certain perspective. And singing them both together like we do at the Super Bowl and things like that, I think is great, because it encapsulates all of American history.
Right.
So,
do you feel like, why do, like, when I'm looking up on YouTube, the Black National Anthem, they're only cutting it off after Till Victory is Won? Why do you feel like it's cut off when you're singing the entire national anthem?
no, you're not.
Oh, wait, you're not. You're right. You're not.
You're not.
Why are they cut off?
Because both have history lesson.
Okay.
The Star Spangled Banner was written in 1814 by Francis Scott Key, based off what he saw a battle at, I think, Fort McKinley.
Okay.
You know, the rockets red, the bombs bursting. That's something he actually saw, so he wrote about it. But verse 3 talks about hirelings and slaves. And so, you know, there's a certain part of our storybook history that doesn't want to be told. And so, and it makes it longer to sing.
Right.
So a lot of people don't know that there's an extra verse to the Star Spangled Banner that talks about slaves and the treatment of slaves, or how Francis Scott Key viewed the treatment of slaves. With Lift Every Voice and Sing, verse 2, Stony the Road We Tried, Bitter the Chastening Rod, talks about the struggle and the perseverance of sustaining that struggle.
Yeah.
When, like I said, about Star Spangled Banner, makes a song longer to sing, but it also tells a darker side of our history, which before a football game, you probably don't want to think about.
Right. So that's why they cut it off.
Yeah.
And that's also could be a reason why Lift Every Voice and Sing is now being brought in the picture.
Brought in the picture and opposed to be in the picture as well.
Interesting. I wonder what the future holds for the two songs at big events like that.
From what I'm seeing so far, there has been enough support to keep both songs.
Right.
I can't remember exactly when Lift Every Voice and Sing became a part of performances at sporting events, major sporting events. But I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, and I hope it doesn't.
Right. I see myself singing the national anthem, or now the Black National Anthem, at like a major sporting event. But we got to start where we are right now. But I definitely see that. Like, I want to be versatile as an artist, or so versatile as an artist to where it's like I can sing in the club, I can sing at a basketball game, a theater, and the national anthem. Like, I want to be called on upon that, but be ready. Yeah. I can belt out the national anthem, but the Black National Anthem is like, we are literally, when I tell you we are literally on the basics. Like, I just had my vocal lesson, and we're going down to 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, like literally just getting the timing of it right before I put my own twang to it. Because when I'm watching all these videos, like you even showed me a video, everybody has like their different way of singing it, but we are down to like getting the timing right. And
like
I'm
I said,
like,
it isn't an uncommon time it's in 6/8 so that's not a time that people tend to sing a lot of songs in.
right. So when do you get to the point where you put your twang on it? Because even when I'm looking at these videos, like they're not following, when you put your twang on it, they're not following the time. They're just going. They got the words right and the, I guess, pitch, but
You'll know it when you get there.
yeah,
You'll know it.
I agree.
And since working with Dawn, you'll find your voice with it, but it's going to take some time and repetition.
It is, especially learning the words, because what I don't want to happen is me getting up on somebody's stage or getting me in front of people and on that mic and then mess it up. Yeah. No, you know what? We're not going to speak that into existence.
Get through it.
We're not going to speak that into existence. But it's like, it's such an important song where it's like, do not mess it up.
Yeah.
Like, don't. So I think that pressure is like, woo, here we go. Definitely not mess up the Black National Anthem. What other songs do you feel like are very important, like alongside the Black National Anthem and the National Anthem to know?
For what you want to do? That's a question I would have to think about.
What about Amazing Grace? Or no? Do people don't sing Amazing Grace at events, high profile events now?
No. You see those types of songs at church events.
Okay.
Like, what do you foresee you like you said, you wanted to be versatile.
Yeah.
So the Great American Songbook would probably be a good place to start.
Do you have one?
I have what they call a real book. But that's dealing with jazz standards.
Okay.
But the Great American Songbook is a book of typical songs that are performed in different places.
Right.
And just learning those songs.
Right. Ugh. It's so much.
Yeah.
It's so much.
So,
and not trying to like overthink this, taking them one at a time.
Also with you, what I've seen from you and your original music, which in my opinion has a positive lean to it. Maybe you can lean into that a little bit more.
It does. Dawn mentioned that too. She was like, it's very uplifting. And I don't think about that. I just write with how I feel. But I need to, I guess, be able to describe it when people ask, like, what is my, like, how would I set myself apart? Or what is my message? Or what is my music centered around?
Yeah. And for people out there who are rappers and singers, as an elementary music teacher, I would love to be able to incorporate more of our music into the classroom. But
Black people music into the classroom?
Yes, but I can't because of the language or the content.
Because I definitely curse in some of my songs.
Yeah, we talked about that. I said, if you took out this word, I could play this for my kids
Right.
and not get in trouble.
Right.
And
But they
so-
just sing for If Not You. There's one curse word in If Not You Who, but they can sing the chorus.
Yeah, they can. And so I've actually posted this on social media to different artists. Like, as an elementary school teacher, it would be great if I could play your music in my classroom, but I can't because you talk about this, and that, and the other thing.
Right.
And so that's why I like I said, I like your music because it does have that motivational quality and it doesn't have the content that like I would get an educator on the news.
Not
for
on the
playing-
news,
for playing
but
that
for
music.
playing the
Yeah.
student, or the kids going home and
Exactly.
singing it to their parents. And their parents come to the school like, y'all got my kids singing. No, I agree. What about Kid Bop?
Kids Bop. Even the kids don't like Kids Bop.
Oh, because they be on social media and TikTok, so they know the real music. So that's why.
Yeah. So if we could do something over the next few years in the music industry that keeps the vibe and makes it more accessible, it would be great.
So basically, that comes down to the artist making a clean version.
Yes. Yeah.
Basically, okay.
But like I said, it's not just language, like with the big 7 cuss words or whatever. It's also content.
Or context.
Context, yeah, all that.
Okay.
What you're singing about, what you're rapping about. Snoop Dogg seems to be one that I've noticed with his cartoon thing that I've seen on YouTube, where he's trying to have content for younger listeners. But he loses the vibe with it. So if we can keep the vibe and the funk and the one to make a TikTok dance to it, but like I said, make it accessible
For the
play in
churn.
school for the children, that would be great. And I think there are artists out there who have the talent to do that.
Right.
Whether you want to buy a home or sell one, you need the right person to make that dream come true. Someone who knows the market, has the right relationships to support you, and keeps his finger on the pulse of the community. So what are you waiting for? Do what I did and contact Vaughn Hayes today, because you are the key to making it all happen, and that house is waiting for you to call it home.
And the way I do get around it, I play the instrumental versions of the songs.
Oh, that makes sense.
And there are other music teachers out there. I don't have that ability to create my own lyrics to that
Yeah.
beat or that
Yeah.
that instrumental.
Yeah.
So there are ways around it, but hearing the artists that the kids love to hear sing this song that's played in this classroom, I think would do a lot.
Yeah.
Would do a lot.
I thought I went to the showcase that y'all had. I thought it was so cool. It just reminded me of being back in school and being in chorus, and they all had speaking parts and singing parts. So I think that was dope, like intertwining them. It's interesting, like on your end of the spectrum, do you see students who are in there and you're like, okay, they can sing?
Yes.
Or they're bold and brave enough to really step up to the mic. Like, what is that feeling
Most
like?
definitely. It's a great feeling to see every, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 out of 100 kids have that ability. They were to just stand out. They have the personality to want to do it. They don't have that fear. They just do it. And so it's great to see. I try to provide my students with as many opportunities to perform as I can within these 10 months of the school year, because it's a performing art.
Yeah.
And there's a portion of it where I do have to sit down and talk about the musical period and the composer and the musical style. But ultimately, I want them performing.
Can the kids at the school perform If Not You Who?
Yeah, we can do that.
You just need a copyright release.
I'm going to need a copyright release and a way to eliminate that word.
But okay, what about just the chorus? Do you need a copyright release for the just the chorus? Or you would prefer, like, if I'm asking you this, you would prefer the whole song?
I would prefer the whole song, and I would prefer you performing with them the whole song.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Yeah,
Where would we perform it at? The school, outside the school.
I have an idea.
Oh, give it to me.
Our 5th graders are having their moving on ceremony. I want to say June 9th or 10th.
What is today's day? April the 14th. You said June. Okay, talk to me.
June 8th is my birthday. That's a Sunday. So, and June 10th is the last day of school. It may be that Friday before.
Okay.
June 6th.
Okay.
But somewhere between the 6th and the 10th is their 5th grade moving on ceremony at Rocky River High School.
Okay.
And we have a portion of the graduation where they perform a song for their parents.
Okay.
And we already started rehearsing one song last week, but we just started. So maybe another song could be put in the place of it.
Just the word. Just the word.
Think of one?
I can think of one. June. So how would we do the rehearsals? I wouldn't come in on the rehearsal. Maybe on the last
If you just
two.
want them to sing the chorus, I could do that in classroom.
Let me see how I can turn this around.
And it would just take 1 or 2 rehearsals with you being at the school.
With them? That would
them.
be, please, let's do it. Let's do it.
You can work on that. And I know the 5th grade news team would love it.
Oh my God, I would cry. I would literally cry. Because it would be so cute. I would cry because it would be so cute.
Yeah, so let's talk to Miss Wilson about that, and we'll see if we can make it happen.
So the whole song or the chorus? You
The whole
still
song.
going to the whole song?
The whole
It's like
song.
2 minutes and 41 seconds.
That's about how long our songs typically go.
I would lose it. I would be so geeked.
I think it would be
That
good.
would be so special. That would be like so special, especially because most of them know me already too. So it's not like who's the stranger.
So we can work on that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
No, because I think it'll be so fun. It would just be so fun. Okay, I need to mute the cuss word.
Okay. Or just replace it with, because it's just one syllable, right?
You can see it, damn near breathe it.
Dang.
You can see it, dang near breathe it. Darn, I'm gonna think about that. Dang, but I mean, you bring up a good point because at this point, it's like now I need to think about that. Like when I make songs, I actually have not. I have another song, "Come Correct." It has a few things on there. I mean, I have the parental advisory on it, like on the album cover. But like now, when I'm recording songs and I do curse, like make the clean version because even I just spoke with the DJ and she was just like, "Yeah, we need the clean version." And I'm just like, "Girl, you have not made a single clean version to any of the songs with profanity in there." So I mean, it's good. It's a good issue to already have like early on, like as I'm recording. So
And when you say clean, what I mean by clean, I mean a clean version, not a radio edit where the words are just bleeped out.
that's what I'm saying. Like not bleeps out, but actually changing the word.
exactly.
So, ooh, okay, I got it. Ooh, challenge accepted. Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
I won't.
Don't tell
I
them.
said we should run it by our principal
Yeah.
and see what she says.
Okay.
Before we start really rolling with it.
And let me make sure I hold up my end on changing the word. But that shouldn't be. I don't think that should be hard. So
'Cause it's a great song. It's it's very motivational. It's not you who.
if not you, who? Ooh, okay, all right. Ooh, they're gonna be so excited too.
And they will probably like it a lot better than the song we're practicing.
What is the song?
Watch as we walk on our way.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a song written for kids by there's a whole nother segment of the music industry that just focuses on writing children's music. So
Okay.
it's one of those publishers.
Okay. Now let me get to work. Let me get to work for the churns. Okay. Thank you
You're welcome.
so much for being here today and being at the performance. Like, I always like to hear feedback from those who are in the stands, and especially because you have a music background, like just to see like what did it seem like on that end. But I think, yeah, the only issue on my end was knowing to tell them, hey, raise the music up, because it was low. Like, but I could tell it was low for everybody. But my takeaway was, okay, as an artist, like, how can I just make sure that I'm saying that in the moment or giving cues? Because I definitely froze. I ain't gonna lie. I froze.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what was it like for you being down in the round on the floor?
I love that. I actually I think that experience taught me like how the stage or the theater was set up. I love intimate settings. Like I do feel like I love an intimate setting. I just want to make sure that, again, like if something is with the audio or just something is with the sound, like I'm comfortable enough in the moment to say something, because I do feel like everything has to work. And even if that was already an issue embedded into just the logistics, like, I mean, I don't know. We didn't do a sound check, so I didn't know that before. But just how, as an artist, like, how can I make sure I don't freeze up in the moment? Because I definitely didn't. I was like, oh, I can't hear, but I just kept going. And then on the last song, I kind of couldn't, when they were clapping, it was loud and I couldn't even hear the music. So I was like, wait, are we on did the beat drop? Like,
but you recovered.
Yeah.
And you recovered quickly.
Yeah.
But I could see it on your face.
Yeah.
So.
But the good thing I had the visual, because the visual, I had text on each song. So I was able to look at the screen to say, okay, we're on this song. Like when it got loud in the audience, like I was able to.
And that's, like I told you after the performance, it's just something simple as pointing at the speaker and then pointing to your ear.
Yeah.
And most people who are at the soundboard, they recognize that.
Right.
I need to hear the music.
Right.
Point at the microphone and then point to your ear.
Okay.
The mic turned up.
Okay. And I've done that. Like when I worked on the news before, like I've definitely done a situation where like I've said, hey, can you turn on my mic? Or hey, like in any moment. So it's like, there's so many things when I worked on the news that I can translate into what I'm doing now. But in that moment, I was just like, just keep going. I think because the one thing, it was so intimate, it was like they were right here in my face. Maybe that's what it was. It was like they're seeing all the facial expressions, like versus on stage. Like if I wasn't down below it on stage, like it's not so close, but I felt like we were right there. And I was just like, just keep going, girl. Don't stop. The show must go on.
I love the show. It was a great show. And just to see you go through the rehearsal process. I wish my kids could have seen the rehearsal process.
Yes.
Because talking to them about rehearsal and just trying to give them examples of why we practice, why we rehearse, actually seeing someone, especially someone who looks like them, go through that process and come out of the other end with the performance probably would help a lot.
Yeah.
But since it was after school, so our kids are gone, they couldn't see it.
Right. I don't know how would that work? It would have to be during.
I mean, I talked to them about it.
Right.
But
I'm just saying, I feel like the rehearsals at the time they are good right now, but I would be open. I think I'm gonna get through this first project first with you. Because I just definitely want to make sure I see that through, because that would be super cool, especially at the end of the year.
Okay.
But I think that would be dope. Like maybe after that, or no, because they'll be out of school at that point. Like talking to them about. But I'm growing too, but I can still meet them where I'm at. Like, hey, I'm a growing artist and I'm learning the things, but these are the things I can tell you because they perform. Like, I just literally watched a whole performance where they had all the elements that I'm doing too. Yep. So, and they were so good. It was so well put on. Like I was excited. And they had little outfits. Like some of them had on like the granny outfits, or the ones who did those speaking parts where they were like acting as the grandma or the aunt.
I don't know if I told you that play was written by some 5th grade students. I think we did it the first time back in 2017.
Okay.
Or 2016, and our 5th grade girls wrote that play.
Okay.
And so we just edited it a little bit, and we did it this past year for Black History Month.
It was so good. Like I loved that. Like it had me so get inside. I guess just seeing kids like just put themselves in front of people and just express themselves, because even though they had a script, you could tell the little personalities. So I love that.
It was great to do.
Okay. All right. Well, that is it for the round table. We'll have to see you again. You just gave me a whole challenge, so I'm going to go work on that.
Okay.
ASAP.
And thank you for having me.
No problem.